Episode 2, here we go, here it is. A lot is happening in this show. There is so much to talk about, and all of it's pretty interesting stuff. I'm not sure where we'll start, but I think we'll go character by character. I think that gives us a good idea of how everyone's going. Let's start with our main crew. We open up this episode, and Billy is in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't know where he is. He's got like a kind of vague idea of what happened to him and where he was from the events of last season. So he runs into a restaurant. He's like trying so desperately to scribble down any memory he has of the building where he saw his wife's grave. There's like a yellow house. There's no fence. There's no sidewalk. I kind of have an idea of what to do there, but he doesn't really know where he is. And he sees on the news that he's being blamed for the death of Stillwell, so he has to evade, and he reluctantly comes back home to his people with Hughie and Frenchie and Milk because Frenchie gives him a call. So they come back, and now the plan's in place to clean up the mess made by Hughie. So they're kind of just figuring out, again, we have to find this guy. We're going to put in a couple calls to bring him in, but because our CIA agent is now deceased, we have to go elsewhere. So Billy kind of goes to an ex-operative that worked for the CIA who's now retired and just kind of like, I kind of need this, so I can get you the guy who blew up the ship, took everyone out of there, but you gotta promise me immunity for like my friends here. So can we work something out? Reluctantly, she agrees to help out Billy, and now we're back on the path of some great stuff here. And I really like too that we're kind of doing a lot of this at the beginning of the season. Hughie still really hates Billy. He doesn't want to work with him. He doesn't trust him. He doesn't respect him anymore because of what he did. I'm liking that angle a lot. I think that's a very important angle. Really cool stuff to see from that. So we kind of figure out where this guy is, and we trace him to this location, like this costume shop. And it's really interesting because Kimiko is very much like, oh, I know who it is. You gotta help me find them and figure that out. I like that a lot. So we're kind of going through this costume shop. We're just finding stuff, and Kimiko's the one that finds the guy. And right when you think she's about to strike to attack him, she gives him a hug. And we realize that this guy is Kimiko's younger brother. He has the same power as her. That's why they knew that he'd be able to sustain the power of the Compact V. He'd be able to hold on to it like his sister did, so now he has the ability to use telekinesis. Very interesting dynamic. I actually really enjoyed that. It was just something like, oh, this is a great way to give her some more character development without actually having her do that much more stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. She has her own sign language that she uses to talk to him, and there's kind of communicating like, I'm sorry, I should have came back for you. You're my brother. I need to see you here. Before anything happens, Billy is ready to shoot and just take him down, but luckily Hughie's there to stop that shit from happening, which I really did enjoy too, because Hughie is not putting up with this shit, not today. He's gonna stop Butcher no matter what. He doesn't want any more casualties. And you see, we're already just kind of hinting that Butcher's gonna go a little bit above the line here instead of doing something good. He's gonna maybe lose himself a little bit too much into the job, into what's happening around him, which I kind of think is a very good angle, because if you know what happens in the books, you know what's going to happen with Billy, so I think it's really cool. We're kind of getting hints that Billy might go a little too close to the edge, and he needs Hughie to reel him back in sometimes. Really good stuff. So we do kind of have a fight scene. The building kind of collapses in on everybody as Kimiko escapes with her brother. They're kind of run away, and she's just trying to convince him, like, we could help you, we can do something good here, but you can't run away from us, so please don't leave. Just let us help. Which, I mean, you're like, it's cool that it didn't go in the angle where we're going to get another superpower team on the boys here, but they're still trying to figure out some stuff, which I really did enjoy. And we got kind of another fight scene. It's not a big fight scene. Kimiko goes flying through a building. She starts chasing her own brother down the city, and they have to handcuff him and take him in. Eventually, they do manage to reel him in and get him, which is kind of cool. And then you just get a great scene at the end of this moment where Billy just punches Hughie in the face. And he's like, if you can't toughen up right now or figure out that there's so much more going on here, walk away and don't come back. I'm not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with you, so don't start with me now, Hughie. We got shit to do. We're all in this now. And that's about it. And it's just a really nice moment to have these guys. Like, I really think this was a great episode for Hughie figuring out some stuff, for Billy kind of going down a path we weren't expecting, for Kimiko to have something cool going on. I really did enjoy that. I think that's going to be something awesome coming forward with these characters, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. But not to be overshadowed by some of the stuff happening with our members of the Seven. So we got a bunch going on there. We'll start talking with Homelander, a character I thoroughly enjoy seeing, and I just love everything he does. He's going back to Billy's wife's house, and I forget what her name is at this moment, but he has a son with her, and he's just trying to figure out how he can be part of his son's life. They're playing catch together. He's trying to figure out how he can be here and be for his son. I think it's a really interesting idea, because especially when you just see this guy never really had a family or parents or people that loved him. So he's trying to cling on to that idea of what it could be. And just kind of tragic and sad to see how he does it. But it's kind of cool. The wife goes away and she like drives to this like location where it's these people that created Homelander, or at least are doing the experiments of Compound V. And she's like, he wasn't supposed to find us. Get him the hell away from my son so something good can happen in my life. Like, get him away from my kid. But the person's just like, we can't. Like, this is Homelander we're talking about. Homelander. He's a scary son of a bitch. You're not going to lose him. You have to put up with him. For the time being, we'll see what we can do, but there's not much we'll be able to do. Which I'm like, that's cool. That's terrifying. She doesn't want him there. And I like that angle because she's kind of standing up for herself. She even tells him, you can't stay here. I don't care if you say you love him or you want to be his father. You're not his father. You're a terrible person. Get out of my house. But what's he going to do? What is she physically going to do to stop him? He can do whatever he wants. He's Homelander. Just great stuff. Like Anthony Starr, man, he's just getting some crazy faces in here. He definitely is doing some great stuff. It's so good. It's really good, man. And then we have this another great moment with our female members of the Seven. We got Queen Maeve, Starlight, and Stormfront. And it's like this is the first time there's been 3 female members of that. So it's like, that's kind of cool. I'm enjoying that. And they're doing some press junkets, and during this, Starlight learns that A-Train is awake, and they have a really interesting just like, oh shit, you know something, I know something, what's gonna happen here? They just kind of like play it off like they're fine and everything's cool, but you could tell there's some secret stuff in there, and that's pretty interesting. They just kind of continue talking about some things, and la-di-da-di-da. Queen Maeve gets a call, so she leaves the interviews, and she just kind of walks away to deal with her own shit. And after one of the interviews, we get Decal coming back to talk to Starlight, and he's got the Compound V for her, so she takes it. Right as A-Train shows up. Because they both know something about each other. And they have a great moment at the end of the episode, too. Like, I know your little boyfriend, Hughie, tried to kill me, and is working for the guys trying to kill us. But she's also like, how do you think it'd do for your sponsors if you realize you tried to kill a hero and you're using Compound V to juice yourself up to stay in shape? So we got a bunch going on here. What's actually going to happen, A-Train? So it's kind of like a stalemate for the moment. Nobody really knows what's happening. And A-Train, I can't remember if it was in this episode or the next one, but A-Train has a nice line where he's saying like, people who have money always say money's not everything, but when you have to come from nothing, money is everything. And I think it's a really cool line. I thoroughly enjoyed having him say that because it's just good. It's just really fun stuff. So was there having that moment, Stormfront's being her dickish self, and she's okay. I'm kind of liking the angle they're taking with her. Queen Maeve goes to visit her old flame in the hospital. She had her pancreas burst, and they're just having a nice time. And you get a moment as to why they couldn't stay together, and it's because she was scared Homelander would come and kill her, like he did somebody else Queen Maeve was close to. I mean, I'd be scared too. I think she is probably one of the few people that could reel in Homelander if he did something crazy, but I kind of like that she's still afraid of him because it just shows that how unstable Homelander is as a guy, and that's a cool angle to play. That's a really fun way to show this guy's a lunatic, because he is. He's a lunatic. Just some great moments with all of our members of the Seven and the members of the Boys, but we gotta talk about the scene that stole the show and stole this episode. So Eagle the Archer gives our boy the Deep a couple of these mushrooms to take him on his quest to figure out his place in the world, and he realizes the reason he goes after women or brutalizes women or attacks women or sexualizes women in certain ways because he's insecure about the way he looks because of his gills. So he has a conversation with his gills. Patton Oswalt. Like, how great is that? That's so great. It's just like, I love you, man. I'm your gills and I love you. You shouldn't be ashamed of who you are or who I am. You're great. And then the gills have a duet with the Deep singing, you are so beautiful to me. That is just the best. That's the best. That's everything you'd want from a comic book thing, man. It's just so stupid and ridiculous, but somehow it works well. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's perfect. Like, this was such a great episode, really fun. We will come back for episode 3 really soon, I promise. What a fun time this was. So, that is The Boys episode 2. A lot of great stuff going on, leading to a great next episode that's even better than this one. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck. Tsunami Studios.